I'm opening a public hearing on Senate Bill 225A.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Senate Bill 225A, this is a personal income tax related bill. It is a proposal to create a personal income tax subtraction up to $17,500. And this would be for retirement or pension income received for service in the armed forces of the United States. Those terms are defined in the bill. It does specify that the subtraction is available to a taxpayer that has attained the age of 63 years of age before the end of the tax year. So the subtraction would be equal to up to $17,500 for those 63 or older. That $17,500 amount is indexed to inflation beginning with tax year 2026, and the total subtraction would be applicable in tax years 2025 through 2030.
Thank you. Questions for LRO before we go to the witnesses? I'm going to ask you, I know this is a little awkward, but to please be brief today because we have 5 other bills to have public hearings on also.
2 minutes.
Thank you so much. Senator Manning, welcome to our committee.
Chair Nathanson, thank you. Vice Chairs Rushke and Walters and distinguished committee members. My name is James Ivory Manning Jr. I am the state senator from Senate District 7, which is north and west Eugene, and over to the beautiful city of Bonita. I'm here today in support of Senate Bill 225. It's very important to me. You say be brief, very brief. I would be remiss to say good bill should pass. That's brevity there, but in this case, I'd like to thank the chair and the committee for hearing this bill. It's really important. You know, we know that when I first arrived in Oregon after serving in the military for 24 years, active duty, there were over 300,000 veterans here in the state. Since that time, the number has dropped to about 260,000. When I reach out to veterans, especially those military retirees, they don't want to move back to Oregon because of the tax burden that's on them. We know that in the year before 1991, there was no tax on military pension. No tax on military pension. Those tax at that time for those eligible veterans or retirees is still in effect. This is something that's moving forward in order to get more veterans back here. And what they're going to do is they're going to increase in terms of purchasing homes, contributing to the economy, and more importantly, they deserve an opportunity to come back home. I do want to thank the Vice Chair Rushke for coming up and being a chief sponsor on the measure. I was really excited about that. And also, we have other members up there that are also members sign on to this bill. With that, I'll leave it alone. Been working on it a long time. Again, good bill should pass. Turn it over to my colleague, Senator Salmon.
Thank you.
Excellent. Chair Nathanson, Vice Chair Reschke, and Walters, and members of the committee, for the record, I'm Janine Salmon. I'm the state senator for Senate District 15, and that is in Western Washington County. As a proud military brat of a 7 family member strong Navy family and 2 members that were in the Army, I thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of Senate Bill 225. I previously brought this concept forward in 2023 and have worked on it with both Senator Manning and Senator Thatcher since then. I am grateful to Senator Manning for bringing it forward once again as a way to show Oregon veterans that we support them. My dad served 23 years in the Navy, and when he retired and we settled in Gales Creek, he went to work, and eventually he started his own business. His retirement pay from the Navy was $1,250 a month. Not enough for much of anything these days. I was initially compelled to bring forth this piece of legislation at a conversation that I had on a door with Thomas Murdoch. He was a former North Plains constituent. He shared that he and his wife would be considering moving to Washington as he was a retired veteran. Because Oregon did not seem to value retirement from the military, and he felt overburdened by taxes. Retired veterans have given years of their life supporting our country through duty. Veterans currently face alarming rates of poverty and homelessness in Oregon. It is estimated that nearly 1,400 veterans experiencing homelessness on any given night, which represents over 10% of Oregon's homeless population. And while veterans only make up 7% of the U.S. population, they make up 15% of adults in homeless shelters nationwide. It is crucial that we act now and join the 2/3 of the states that do not tax military retirement. In 2022, there were 7 states that passed laws exempting or partially exempting military retirement pay from state income tax liability. This is an important step that we can take to help attract more veterans to call Oregon their home, as Oregon continues to rank near the bottom for military retirees. Providing meaningful tax relief to our veterans is not just sound fiscal policy, it is a moral imperative that acknowledges their service while giving them the financial breathing room they need to secure stable housing and rebuild their lives in communities that they once defended. Veterans bring a rich experience, professional training, strong work ethic, and commitment to purpose to our workforce. We need police, we need fire, we need bus drivers, we need electricians. Military veterans who have dedicated their lives and their family time to serving and protecting our nation should feel the honor for that service. Colleagues, thank you for your time and your attention, and I urge your support of such an important bipartisan bill. Thank you.
Yes, Rep. Marsh.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I have a question. According to the SMS, we think there are about 10,000 taxpayers who would benefit from this. The financial distribution is estimated to be about a third with adjusted gross incomes less than 50,000, a third with incomes of 50 to 100,000, and a third with incomes exceeding 100,000. Have you considered, or would you consider making the tax subtraction income-based?
Chair Nathan and Vice Chairs Rushkey and Walters, we have pondered over this. This is the third iteration of this bill. We have gone through it time and time again. And this is the spot that we had settled on, because you look at the amount of money or the proximity number of eligible. Every veteran is not a retiree. And we're not talking about any PERS funding or anything like that. We're talking about federal dollars that these veterans have earned over a lifetime. We worked out, and it's come down, it passed out of my committee, which is the Senate Committee on Veterans Emergency Management, unanimously. It passed out of the Senate Finance and Revenue Committee unanimously, and it passed from the Senate floor with only one no vote. So we've gone through it, we've done all of the work. My opinion, this bill is ready for prime time. And I just urge your support. And, like I said, we've crunched all the numbers and everything else. It's not going to be a devastating impact to the economy. But what it will do is that it will bring those veterans back, the ones that have chose to live in Washington State, bring them back across the state line so they can return home.
Thank you.
Any other questions for our colleagues? Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have 3 other people signed up to testify. I will ask you to limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes each. We still have close to 30 more people to testify on other bills. Okay, so first, Robert Greenway, please. After Robert Greenway, John Calhoun. Robert Greenway. John Calhoun.
Good afternoon, Chair Nathanson, members of the committee. My name is John Calhoun. I'm representing Taxpayers Oregon. Proponents claim that the tax exemption would attract recent military retirees to Oregon employers and universities. They also believe that our veteran population is declining because we don't do enough for veterans. However, the VA reports the national vet population has declined by 26% between 2000 and 2020 as 20th century vets die off. but Oregon has declined by only 24%. So we've actually done better than other states. We also don't believe that this bill will change anything. The average benefit of $1,500 is insufficient to motivate many retirees. For those at first income taxes, states with no income tax, many military bases and ample military contractors, for example, Washington, Texas, and Florida, will remain more appealing. In addition, more than 80% of the military today do not stay and get a pension, and SB 225 will not motivate any of them to move to Oregon. SB 225 is not designed to help veterans that need help. This benefit is not based upon war wounds, other disabilities, combat experience, homelessness, or income level. Less than 4% of current Oregon veterans would get this exemption, and half of this small sliver already have incomes above the median Oregon household income. So in addition to the issues I pointed out last week regarding the unfairness of this legislation, the potential mischief it could create with other government pension recipients, and the taking of funds from legislatively stated higher priorities, our opinion is that this legislation will accomplish none of the claims of the proponents. It is a costly misuse of taxpayer funds and will only marginally change our bottom ranking and wallet hub amongst states for military retirees. The underlying motivation for this bill is the desire to honor veterans and show them respect. I know something about respect. It's what I did not get when I came back from Vietnam. But getting an annual payment for my service now would not make me feel better. What I want is a government and a society that says thank you and does not denigrate my service. What I want is a VA that is properly funded and can provide proper medical care to all veterans that need it. A strong bipartisan message to Washington from this legislature objecting to VA budget cuts might be more beneficial to more veterans than passing this bill. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Marcia Kelly?
Chair Nathanson, Vice Chairs Walters and Reschke, and members of the committee, Marcia Kelly, the Oregon Women's Rights Coalition. I've been attending hearings in this room since 2001, probably longer than most anybody else, because can't remember whether Chris was a staffer then or not. I think he was over at Revenue. I have the same question that Representative Marsh has. Why not limit this to the least economically benefited veterans? So she sort of stole my thunder because about a third of them are over 100,000. In addition, if we start doing this for veterans, are we going to start doing it for first responders, for state police, for fire? There are things to say about those people keeping us safe as well. I'm not against veterans. My father was in the Second World War. He was missing in action for some time. But in order to benefit veterans, we aren't looking at spending other ways. A family of 3 on TANF gets $506 a month. That's 24% of the federal poverty level. Who do we want to help? Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. And once again, I'm calling for Robert Greenway. That completes the list of everyone signed up to testify on this bill. Yes, Representative Fresh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just to Mr. Calhoun, thank you for your service. Sorry you got a poor reception when you came back from Vietnam. That was inappropriate. And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your comment. Anything else before I close this public hearing? Okay, I'm closing the public hearing on Senate Bill 225A.